Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel that takes on all kinds of issues related to narcissism and narcissistic personalities and how to understand these in our relationships and our lives. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button and join this really robust, wonderful community that's all committed to learning about the same things. And also hit that bell. We put out new videos every day and you get notified and then you'll know when it's coming out. So one of the things we do on this channel is we unpack proverbs. Proverbs that relate to narcissism. It's interesting how many proverbs that have, I don't think they meant to be related to narcissism, but how much these proverbs actually teach us about narcissism and actually sometimes are the opposite of what we should be doing in these relationships. It gives me insight into why sometimes people make decisions that aren't healthy for them. I think, oh, sometimes the proverbs are telling them to. Well, today's proverb is an interesting one. It's all good things must come to an end. You've all heard this one. Now, the original read on this proverb is actually, there is an end to everything, to good things as well. And the original was found in Chaucer around the 1300s. But it's an oldie, this one. But you can see the way the original proverb was written. It was almost more universal. This idea that everything does end, everything, good or bad. The way it's worded now, all good things must come to an end, sort of implies that good things just can't last. So now it's kind of a downer. But when we bring this proverb into narcissism wisdom, it makes the most sense, honestly, when we apply it to love bombing. I personally am not sure love bombing is ever a good thing, but I know that when it's happening, it feels good for most people. And it's often what tricks people to stay in these relationships. People may actually believe that all this good love bombing stuff is going to last, and then obviously love bombing always ends. The good thing comes to an end. Sadly, then people keep fighting to get those first few months of the relationship back. But that isn't happening in a love bombed narcissistic relationship. It doesn't ever go back. You may get yourself into the toxic cycle of love bomb, devalue, discard, hoover, love bomb, devalue, discard, hoover. So maybe the relationship never ends, but the good part certainly does. Now, as a proverb, this is also kind of a bummer, because when we are in the midst of a healthy, good relationship, the more pessimistic people amongst us may believe that, well, don't get too comfortable because this good thing is going to end anyhow, right? Now listen, every day of our lives can't be a day on vacation or a day at the beach or a day off. So yeah, those little good things in our lives do sort of come to an end. But this proverb can actually make things a little worse for people, for example, who are anxious, people who live their lives always waiting for the other shoe to drop. In fact, apprehension is a major part of anxiety. The worrying that the bad thing is going to happen, and then it happens, and then the fear is confirmed. A lot of that is anxiety. Now, this proverb also runs the risk of being used as a justification in a narcissistic relationship. Well, because after all good things come to an end, right? So maybe I should just stick this relationship out because all good things end, and this relationship's no different. It's toxic, and yeah, good things end. So then it becomes a justification for the bad behavior in the relationship. That maybe nothing good lasts. So maybe all flashy, charismatic, grandiose, larger than life things do come to an end. But the real good part of a relationship is respect, kindness, compassion. That stuff is never supposed to come to an end in a healthy relationship. The proverb, all good things come to an end, is sort of a band-aid for us. A reminder that when that wonderful day or a wonderful movie we saw or a wonderful meal ends, we just have to be a little bit philosophical and recognize that every moment in a life is not going to be grandiose and ideal. And interestingly, that right there is the paradox of life for the narcissistic person. They don't like the idea that all good things come to an end. In their childlike, grandiose, spoiled, entitled way, they actually believe that for them at least, good things should last forever, and bad things should never happen to them. So when they are disappointed or bad things happen, they throw tantrums and fits of rage. So this proverb doesn't work for them, does it? And in fact, when good things do come to an end in their lives, you will often face their wrath, even when it has nothing to do with you and it's just life happening. Even a 5-year-old recognizes that a day at a carnival or an amusement park does have to end, and there's a time you got to go home and go to bed. And at least for the child who tantrums, that's developmentally appropriate. A tantrum is not such a good look for a 45-year-old adult. So whether we take the original Chaucer phrase that tends to be a little bit more accepting, this idea that all things need to come to an end, whether good or bad, or the more modern and frankly kind of downer version that all good things must come to an end, it's all just a reminder of the nature of life, isn't it? Life and its associated emotions are like the weather. There are rainy days and sunny ones, and we just need to get through them. It's also important in real life that we do not use this kind of a proverb as a justification to stay in a toxic relationship. Yes, not all days in relationships are grandiose love fests, but nor should all days of a relationship be riddled with abuse and manipulation. So sit with this proverb, try to find the wise part of it without falling into the defeatist part of it, because it really does give us some wisdom about narcissistic relationships, love bombing, and even a little bit of insight into how narcissistic minds and brains work. So the next time you hear this one, give it a second, let it sit before you use it as a justification. Thanks again.